down in depth, matchups, all those type of things. Let's tease our picks until the end, right?
Okay.
Tease our picks. So when I say Boston Celtics versus Warriors, what do you think is the things that are going to be deciding that series? And break down those matchup, breaks down those strengths and weaknesses. Let me hear what you have to say.
I think a strength of the Celtics, and I kind of hinted at this earlier, especially when it comes into the Warriors, is that they're a physical team. They were able to kind of sort of match the physicality of the Miami Heat, but the Warriors are not really a physical team. They're not really, okay, we're going to take some charges. We're not going to really fall. They're kind of really, okay, we're going to live at the perimeter, and if we have skill to break you down, but we're really not going to be as physical and try to draw a lot of fouls or cause a lot of fouls. They're not that type of team. But the Boston Celtics have shown that they have a high level of defense that they can hit, and then they can also be very physical, and that may cause a problem for the Warriors. Seeing that they do really play kind of, I don't want to say this, but I'm going to say a kind of a pretty boy basketball. Like they're like, I'm just going to knock these shots down. But if you can get Marcus Smart, you know what I mean, to draw fouls and to cause problems, get Jason Tatum to really get in there and kind of defend at a high level, Jaylen Brown to defend at a high level, just get those guys to really, okay, believe that we got this. They could really push the Warriors. I still will stick with whatever it may be that my pick is because I'm just teasing. But I think that might be their greatest strength heading into this matchup. And their weakness is something else that I was said before, is that their dry spells that they have. That can cause problems for themselves because the Warriors have a level of scoring output that they can hit that cannot be matched if you can't score. We have seen these in the past years where they will go on runs. And I'm not talking about 8-0 runs. I'm talking like 12, 14-point runs because once one shot goes in, 8 more follow. And it's just crazy from then on. And then you're down 20, and that happened in 5 minutes. The whole time you can't score, you can't buy yourself a bucket. That will be their greatest downfall if they do not figure that out. And the one reason and the only way they can figure that out is if they attack the paint more. If they can somehow figure out a way to keep that tempo and run the ball down the Golden State Warriors' throats, they can win a series. But that's what it would take. It would take physicality, keeping the tempo, attacking the paint, not really living and dying with 3-point shot. Hit it every once in a while, but don't live and die with it, and try to limit the dry spells. Every team's going to have a point in time where they just can't score, but but as long as Jaylen Brown can keep some kind of consistency and kind of just keep that going for them, and then maybe you can get Jason Tatum to kind of come along a little bit more than he has been lately, they might be able to win a series.
All right, so after you broke everything down, who do you think's going to win? And why?
Well, I didn't get to the Warriors yet. The Warriors are like the all-time best team. I mean, it's not. They have. It's so crazy because I would have not really guessed that this is what I will be seeing from this Warriors team. Even I knew what Curry was capable of because I was like, okay, he should have won an MVP. Even though he didn't make it to the playoffs that year, but I was not really. I'm not saying it surprised me. But it surprised me not really knowing what was on that roster and not knowing how Wiggins would work eventually, not really seeing the future of what they were putting together. But now that this all came together and the coaching has made it perfect now, it's a complete, I'm like, wow. So it's not really much you can say about the Warriors because the Warriors have always been the Warriors. No matter who's on the team, the Warriors have been the same exact championship pedigree type of team, well coached. You know what you're going to get from them every year. As long as injuries and technical fouls do not destroy their chances, they have no reason not to win. So with that being said, do you want me to give my pick?
Go for it. I want to hear it.
Warriors in 6.
All right. You were leaning Celtics for a while. I'm glad you came to the dark side. All right. Well, my breakdown, let's start with the Celtics first, is they have some secret sauce to the formula. Marcus Smart, one of the best guard defenders in the league. He's going to be able to guard Stephen Poole. He's going to make things hard. Jaylen Brown, the guy White off the bench.
Derek White,
Derek White. They're going to run around, chase around Clay all day in the track meet, known as Clay Thompson. Grant Williams and Jason Tatum are going to be probably the guys guarding Andrew Wiggins. That's a tough matchup. And Al Horford and Robert Williams can switch. They can switch really efficiently. They have the secret formula that the Cavs had defensively when they had Tristan Thompson, who was younger and could really be smooth and switch. And you need that to beat the Warriors, and they have that. And they have something else that you need to beat the Warriors, which is two guys that can get buckets on their own. They don't need systems to get them scores, get them buckets. Because, if it's just one, yeah, we can expose you like Luka. Luka can drop 40, but we'll just stop everybody else from scoring. It's harder when it's two guys. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And they have that going for them because they can beat system, they can beat defensive systems. I think that Al Horford helps with the veteran leadership and the mind that he has. He's going to be really integral, and they're going to make things hard at the rim. They match up well. So they have those things going for them. And the things that the Warriors have going for them is like the Boston Celtics, they can switch. You can't expose anybody in drop coverage. Like the Bucks got exposed with Al Horford sinking all those threes, Grant Williams sinking all those threes, and on the corner, from drop coverage. You know what I mean? From exposing that, so you don't have any of those advantages that the Warriors negate. Draymond Green's going to give Jason Tatum hell when he's on him. I mean, that's about as bad of a matchup as you can get for Jason Tatum. Even though he's probably going to be guarding Al Horford most of the game, he's going to switch, and he's going to be, and they get him on switches. It's going to be tough. They might not even try to run ball screens against the Warriors because, you get Draymond Green on that ball screen. Like, I want the guy who's originally guarding me to guard me.
Yeah.
That's something the Warriors have going for them. Another thing, for an intricate thing that the Warriors have going from them, there's a few things that really makes me believe in them, is Steph Curry and Jordan Poole will account for 48 minutes at the point guard position. Name me a point guard that those two guys have to guard. That they really have to work to guard defensively.
Nobody.
So they can just rest.
Yeah.
Those two can just rest. Marcus Smart, please beat me. You. Take the tough contested shot. Yeah, I love to see it. Hey, good job, Marcus Smart. Really like the way you play. Peyton Pritchard? Man. Oh, that guy. He's tough. That's a shooter. Let him shoot. Don't let him shoot. Jordan Poole, even though Marcus Smart is going to guard them so well, they're going to have all the energy, and it's going to be so draining. And another thing is, I feel bad for Jaylen Brown because he's going to have to chase Klay Thompson all day. That's exhausting. Like, whenever White's not in the game or Brown's in the game, like just think about all the ways the Golden State Warriors attacked Luka Doncic with off-ball screens. Jaylen Brown's really gonna have to put in a ton of effort. Jason Tatum can't just stand in the corner. He's got to guard Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins might dunk on him a few times. You know what I mean? Like, he's got to still guard him. So they can't sleep. You know what I mean? They can't just stand there. Against the Miami Heat, Max Strus, I can just stand there. You know what I mean? Yeah, Jaylen Brown, this is so hard. All I got to do is stand here and guard Max Strus. He's just going to stand here. I just get the rest. Like, you don't have that against Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors, all the scores for the Boston Celtics are all the scoring positions for the Golden State Warriors, so they just don't get the rest. You know what I mean? Draymond Green doesn't really have an issue either, so he's just going to be able to go extra hard on whenever he switches on somebody. He's like, finally, I have to do something. Guarding Al Horford is just so hard. So it's those are some serious matchup issues. And yes, the Golden State Warriors to hit fifth gear they're going to win 2 games just by hitting fifth gear, where they just get so hot and they're just going to win games, and this is going to be insane. And another thing is, we've seen the Miami Heat give the Boston Celtics issues and expose their non-passer on the court. The best passer on the team's Al Horford. You know what I mean? Like, Marcus Smart's not the greatest, passer. Jason Tatum's not the greatest passer. You can expose them a little bit. And the Warriors are going to test them mentally. The Warriors are a great wrinkle defense. What I mean by that is, in one possession they'll be running 2-3 zone, another possession they'll be running box of one, another possession they'll be switching, another possession they will not be switching, another possession they'll be running some convergence of man zone that it's just like, what is that? What is going on here? Like, they really they are top tier mental chess game defensively. And the Boston Celtics have nobody that can play that chess game. They have nobody that can be like, oh, you're running this defense. Oh, I'm going to make this perfect pass. It's like playing against CP3. That guy is going to read all those things and just dissect it. LeBron James, yeah, who cares? He already memorized every defense you have. The Boston Celtics don't have anybody that can break. It might be a high turnover. They might lose a few games due to high turnovers, where they just threw so much stuff at you that you just don't know what's going on. Yeah. So we saw that happen to Luka sometimes, man, where it was like, Luka's a great passer, but it was like, man, those reads are tough. Man, they're throwing so many things at Luka. You know what I mean? They don't have a Luka. They just don't have a guy that's got it here. And I think that's going to get exposed as well. So, because of, honestly, if it wasn't for some of the negatives, I would think about the Celtics. But because of the fact that Steph and Jordan Poole don't have to guard anybody defensively and all those matchups and intricacies that I broke down, I'm going Warriors in 6 as well. Basketball